One of the things that I do here in Cardiff is to run a climate cafe, which is a space where we sit around and have a cup of tea and are invited to speak into the space to say, how are we feeling in the light of the climate crisis, in the light of everything that's going on in the world? How are we? How are we feeling? And the last time we were doing this, people were going around and talking. And I just had this kind of real sense of like, I feel sorry for us. Like, I feel, I feel sorry for us that we're facing this and we have this sense of responsibility for what is going on in the whole world. Like, there's a massive thing happening. There are many massive overlapping things happening in the whole world. And we're sitting around thinking, oh, what can I do about it? And I just felt, yeah, I'm like, well done for us for like trying. And like, I feel sorry for us that we have to. It's just something about the modern world today that, if you compare to most of human history. Now, in the past, things weren't great, but your sense of your vision of the world was probably not very big. It was probably, your village. For most of human history, your sense of what mattered and what you'd be worried about would be your family, your tribe, your village. And so there may be deep things to worry about. There may be significant things to worry about. You might be worrying about your child being ill or your elderly relative being ill, and that before modern medicine, there was, of course, a lot of deaths from things that are preventable now. So that's significant, right? And you might have been worried about the harvest failing this year, thinking, is it rained enough? Is the harvest going to fail this year? Things like that. So there was plenty to worry about. I'm not don't want to idolize the kind of past in that sort of way. It was all lovely. But the scale of what there was to worry about was, my family, my tribe, my village, as far as the horizon, I think for most of human history. And yet we are sitting in this connected planet, and we're going, oh, there's a climate crisis. There's a massive crisis to do with how we use energy and burn carbon in the world, and it's going to like wipe out like Pacific Islanders, and there's going to be millions of deaths because of it. And I'm thinking, what can I do about it? I have this sense of responsibility, and what can I do about it? There's a genocide in Gaza, people are dying, and we have a sense sitting here like, how can I stop this? Like this sense of responsibility. What can I do about it? How can I stop it? Trump gets elected in the States, and we here in Wales, here in the UK, who don't have a vote, didn't have a vote, are still feeling it and being like, what can I do about it? This sense of responsibility, this sense of, oh, how should I be responding is a lot, is a lot. And I feel sorry for us. I just feel sorry for us. And it's not the same as people going through things directly. Don't get me wrong. Like I feel more compassion, more sorry, and we all have to for people in Gaza who are being bombed, who are dying. We have to feel compassion for. Of course, we do. We feel deep sorrow and compassion for innocent victims dying. But I feel sorry for us as well because we have a sense of knowing knowing so much about what's happening in the world and feeling a sense of being responsible and wanting to do something, thinking, what can I do to stop this? What can I do to stop this? And I just had the sense in the climate cafe looking out of the room going, oh, like I just had kind of a sense of love and compassion for the people in the room and everyone that people in the room represented for like, oh, well done for trying. I feel sorry for us. And I guess my thoughts around this are really to say like that responsibility is good, that sense of being a moral person, of saying I feel morally responsible to do something in response to the suffering of the world, to the chaos of the world, to the violence of the world. Like it's a good thing. It's a good thing if you sit there and you think, what can I do about it? It's a good thing to have sense of responsibility. And this is where any kind of activism or work for the world comes from, is a sense of I feel I do have moral responsibility wherever I am in the world. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. But I think it has to come with an acknowledgement that, like, my power is limited. Your power is limited. If any of us think about ourselves, I have to save the world, basically, that I have to save the world. And if I don't, if I'm not doing so much work to save the world, then I'm kind of racked with guilt about the fact that I'm not doing it. And I feel exhausted in doing it. Um, that's not acknowledging the truth that your power is limited. And it may be for some of these things, like, yes, we're going to try and do what we can, but maybe we can't do anything. Like, what if we can't do anything? What if we can't stop a genocide? Like, let's try. Don't get me wrong. Let's bloody try. If there's any way we can stop a genocide, to stop a genocide. But I can't. I certainly by myself, I can't. Certainly by yourself, you cannot prevent the suffering that's going on in the world. You cannot. I cannot. Maybe we can. Maybe there's a sense that we have to have a sense of being part of something bigger. You have to have a sense that you're not alone. I have to have a sense that I'm not alone. If I feel I'm alone, if I feel sort of an overwhelming sense of personal responsibility, then I think, oh, as soon as I, you know, have an afternoon off and go for a walk, then I'm not doing what I should be doing to save the world. If I'm not at the protests every Saturday, then I'm not doing what I should be doing to save the world. Like, but it's not just you. It's a we. It's not just you. It's not just a me. It's a we we're a part of. You are not alone. You can do your bit for the world. But I think we have to be able to lean back into some power of grace, some power of something bigger than the self, something bigger than me to save the world. Otherwise, it just feels like it's entirely the me that has to save the world. And for myself as a person of faith, I have that sense that there is a power of grace in the world. There is a power for justice in the world. There is a power that moves us towards beloved community in the world. And that is God. That is the realm of God that is moving us. God is building the realm of God in the world. And my job is to participate in it, but have a sense that it's God's work. It's not just my work. I have to do my bit, but it's not just my work. But whether you have a kind of faith or not, you can't do it alone. You have to have a sense that it's not just me. So well done, like if you're trying. And I feel sorry for you, and I feel sorry for us that we have to. And I feel sorry for the world for the state that it's in. But it's not just you, and it's not just me, and it's not just a few of us. We have to do the work. We have to like be really gentle with ourselves. And I just have this instinct at the moment just to be like wanting to wrap everyone in like a in gentle love, just to look after, like, oh, I just want to look after people. Like, how are you doing? Like, I want us to be looked after in this work because we're going to need it. We need to look after each other. We need to look after ourselves. We need to not be alone in the path ahead.